recent literature has indicated that little organisms will pollinate the flowers of seagrass plants. Seagrasses have roots, they have root systems, all right? And so they can sexually reproduce, but they also can asexually reproduce by budding off and clonally developing those root systems, all right? Seagrasses are incredible because they're home to a number of different organisms. So they're nursery habitats for a lot of the critters here in the Bahamas, like queen conch and spiny lobster, as well as a bunch of commercially valuable fish species, snapper, grunts, all right, a lot of different fishes. Unfortunately, seagrass beds are under threat. Globally, we've lost thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of seagrass beds. Why? Well, there's a lot of different reasons for that. Pollution from oil spills, smothering the seagrasses, as well as nutrients. If you have too many nutrients in the water, just like if you over-fertilize a lawn, you can have stuff start growing on your lawn. It's the same sort of thing with seagrasses. You can have too much stuff starting to grow on the seagrass itself. This is called epiphyte growth, epiphytic growth. I can pick some seagrass here and show you. All of this schmutz that's growing on the seagrasses, this algae, all this filamentous stuff, okay? These are epiphytes. These can grow really quickly if there's a lot of nutrients in the water, and they can smother out the seagrasses, preventing them from photosynthesizing. That's a big problem. Another impact to seagrass beds is actually overgrazing. So here in the Bahamas, one of the wonderful things that we've seen is a ton of green sea turtles. We love green sea turtles, right? They're so charismatic. They're awesome. They also love to eat seagrasses. You can see that here, right? These stubby seagrass leaves are actually grazed down from a sea turtle. One of the big problems is that in some areas, because the sea turtles are grazing so heavily, they're even grazing down to those root systems I mentioned. And once the root systems are eaten and destroyed, they can't regrow. That's a big problem. Sorry, one thing that's happening right now in front of my cameraman, there's a green sea turtle poop that's floating right here, all right? This is a green sea turtle poop. You can actually see some worms in there, lovely, right there. Green sea turtles everywhere here, team. They are everywhere, all right? So you often see their poop floating all around. It's a really fatty poop, but full of that seagrass. Wow, look at that big parasite there. Yum. All right, I'm gonna throw this back. The seagrasses that we have here are really amazing. This type of seagrass in my hand is called turtle grass, Thalassia testudinum turtle grass, because green sea turtles love to eat this grass. All right, this type of grass is really abundant in the Bahamas, and that's a really good thing. Again, it's a very important nursery habitat for a number of different organisms, really important food source, but it also provides a number of other ecosystem services. It provides storm protection because it slows down waves and storms from coming onto shore. Seagrasses also provide some other really incredible ecosystem services. They're a source of blue carbon. They sequester immense amounts of CO2. So in terms of climate change, seagrasses are so critical. Turtle grass is so critical at sequestering that CO2 and storing it in its tissues, all right? And they also oxygenate the environment during sunlight. Seagrasses, besides being a source of food for animals and habitat and sequestering carbon, they also stabilize sediment with their root systems, locking sediments into place, and that helps keep habitats in check. It reduces sedimentation. So they're really, really incredible organisms. I also want to point out some other seagrasses that we have here, and I'll try to find some of them. Right here, this is a type of seagrass called Haliduli wrightii. All right, and this type of seagrass, it's very thin, it has very small blades, and it does pretty well here. It tends to do a little bit better with higher nutrients. Another seagrass that we have here, but I haven't seen it in this particular bed that does really well with a lot of nutrients, is called Syringodium filiforme. It's a tall, cylindrical seagrass, and you tend to see it a lot more in high nutrient-enriched environments. But turtle grass, that big, thick blade that I just showed you, that does very, very well with a lot of sunlight, low nutrients, and in these pristine, beautiful waters.